Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, Mega Man 11 producer says he doesn't like those slippery ice platforms. Newsflash, no one does. It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellis, joined as always by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We've got a good show for you tonight. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, including some third-party support on Switch and the global Splatfest coming to Splatoon 2. Then on Thursday, come back for that because we are going to be ranking all the console Mario games.
Ooh.
I expect blood, Mark. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing
Before blood, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I realized today that my car is a little I guess I would say like dangerously dirty. The back window is a little too caked in dirt.
Yeah.
And
did it cause visibility problems? Why is it dangerous?
well, it's a little bit dangerous when it gets dark because like it like limits the already limited visibility.
Mhm.
My car in general desperately needs to be washed, but I think we're gonna get rain in the next day or two here. I don't know what that means, if it means like a light sprinkle, in which case my car will just get dirtier,
Right.
or if it means like a cleansing.
Sure, if we're going to get like a Magnolia-style downpour into frogs.
Yes.
Spoilers for Magnolia, I guess. Man, that would be the dirtiest your car would ever be after a downpouring of frogs.
Yeah, that'd be no good.
Because, like, there's dirt on your car now, but
Right.
there's currently no frog guts.
Nah.
Weather right now, neither rain nor frog guts.
Nope. Pleasant.
Pleasant, a little on the cloudy side.
Sure. Yeah.
It's actually been really hazy this weekend. I feel like visibility has been poor.
Yeah, and previously we've been, we're always like couching it in terms like, but we know the weather's worse elsewhere, so we're not complaining. Do you know what? Today I'm complaining.
Yeah, complain about it, Mark.
Hay's gross. Who needs it?
Hay's gross, and who needs it? I agree with all of those statements. Our guest weather today is from Charlotte, North Carolina, which it looks like they're not getting the total brunt of the nightmare winter that the rest of the world is getting right now, or the rest of the country, I suppose. Looks to be about 30 degrees and cloudy, maybe some rain overnight, or rain this week.
Yeah, they're in like the upper 60s. They're doing fine.
Yeah, they'll be. Look, you could go to the beach at the 60s, right? Could you go to the beach at 60s?
I mean, I'm wearing a coat when it drops below 70.
That's a
but
great
that's
point.
because I'm weak.
Also, I'm never going to the beach. The reason that we are talking about Charlotte, of course, is because my copy of Sonic Forces is currently there. I sent it there earlier, so big ups to our listeners.
Yeah, the biggest of ups.
The biggest of ups to our listeners in Charlotte and to our listener who is playing Sonic Forces right now. If you would like to be the next person or the next, there's a little bit of a list. If you would like to be one of the next people to borrow my copy of Sonic Forces, all you have to do is send your address to Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com, and I will send it to you. You are under no obligation to play it or enjoy it or anything. Play the game for a little bit, send it back.
Well, and then Patrick, how do they get it back to you?
Here's the thing. I send along a self-addressed and stamped envelope. You just put the game in the envelope, drop it in the mail, or give it to your mail carrier, and it'll come back to me.
So you're telling me that if I want to play Sonic Forces,
Mm-hmm.
all I have to do is send an email
All you have to do is
with
send
my
an email.
mailing address
That's right, to Nintendo Cartridge Society
at gmail.com.
And be a little patient because there is a small list at this point. But look, this is the way to play this game. You'll feel like you're part of a community of people who are sort of dismissing this game for the most part, but taking the opportunity to play it for like 20 minutes or whatever. Or as long as you want. If someone borrows this game and beats it, I would love that. If someone like played this game and it changed their lives and they love it, that'd be amazing,
That'd
right?
be amazing.
Oh, man. All right. Mark, let's get into what we've been playing this week. Mark, I continue to play Blossom Tales, The Sleeping King. I'm trying not to mainline it. Like, I feel like I could just sit and play it forever. This is a game that is, very much like a top-down Zelda clone.
Link to the Past-esque.
Link to the Past-esque. I would say that the graphical style is more reminiscent of like 8-bit.
Okay.
It's almost like if Link to the Past were an 8-bit game.
Oh, interesting.
But it's that like modern 8-bit where you're like you can
It's
tell
pixel art.
It's pixel art,
yeah.
exactly. It's sprite based, and all the sprites are 8-bit, but like there are some like kind of sophisticated particle effects and stuff. But I continue to play and really enjoy that game. One of the things I really like about it, and I mentioned this last time, that it is it's based on like a grandfather telling a story to his grandkids. And so, that means that sometimes while you're playing the game, it will present you options of like, I think she's fighting this, I think she's fighting this, and you choose which one you want to fight. But it also means that every time you turn the game on, the grandfather like catches you up to like where you are, where you were heading, in just like a sentence or two. And it's very handy. Like if I were playing Link to the Past right now, I would love for it to be like, you were just collecting heart pieces in this corner, but like you have to get over to this. It would be very nice.
Yeah, that sounds like a really thoughtful feature.
Mm-hmm. It's been good. What have you been playing this week?
So just a little bit of Floor Kids.
Mm-hmm.
Still making my way through that. I'm really enjoying it. Not great at this game. Getting mostly like 3 and 4 crowns.
Yeah,
Really hard for me to get those like 5 crowns.
I think I was only able to get 5 crowns in the first like world, and then after that it got like 2. Oh, also I was drinking more as I got later into the game. But yeah, man, what a cool game.
Well, and the game's pretty forgiving, like because you only have to complete a track with 3 crowns in order for you to unlock another piece of like another breakdancer. But I still have a lot to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, just super enjoying that game.
Do you find yourself playing as one dancer over and over again, or do you like cycle between them?
So I am definitely not like the best at this game because I pretty much like cycle through the ones that I have available, and
it's a little bit to your detriment, right?
Right,
Because
well,
they all of their moves are named different things.
Yeah, yes, all their moves are named different things, and also they have different stats. So like some of them are supposed to be, better at floor moves or freezes or something like that.
Yeah.
And I play them all pretty much the same.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, like I'm not really being super intricate.
Yeah, or super thoughtful about like, oh, I should be doing more floor moves with this person.
Right, because they have a greater strength in it. I actually don't really entirely understand how that comes into play.
I wonder if it's
like
just
their aptitude.
I guess I don't actually know either, but I wonder if it's just that like whenever it's not calling out for you to do a combo, that you should just be defaulting to doing those moves. Like maybe you just score more on those or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you like try a character for the first time and the game starts calling out a combo, you're like, I don't know what that
Right.
I don't know what like pickup slide is. I don't know what that means.
But it's like fun to experiment.
Yes,
like it's
absolutely.
not like a roadblock to enjoying the game. It's part of its replayability, but it does seem like it would be better to experiment with the different dancers, but find the one that you kind of like work with the best.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't revisited the game since my first little like session with it. But when/if I go back to it, I think I am going to just like pick a dancer and just go through all of it, because then you feel like you've got a little bit more agency.
Yeah, but also like you're unlocking all these new dancers that
and they all look so cool,
and they might actually like fit your play style better. So that's what I feel like the danger is of just being like, no, this is my dancer and I'm not going to experiment, is you might actually find one that it is better to play with
for my play style. Which character has the highest panic level? Because I feel like that's how I play. Speaking of panic, I have been playing a little bit of Ultra Street Fighter 2, which is a Switch game from like May or something. Been out for a good long time, but it is part of my getting back into fighting games goal. That is one of the games that I want to get back into. I spent a little time messing around with the you can like set different color palettes for the characters, which is good, stupid fun. But I also went online and just played against some people who are, let me tell you, playing online ranked matches against people on the Switch versus playing on PlayStation 4 and like Street Fighter 5. Totally different worlds.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I was cleaning up on
Huh.
Ultra Street Fighter. I played maybe like a dozen matches. I think I lost one. And with just sort of picking whatever. Like I wasn't
Do you think it's
really
your
working on it.
familiarity with Street Fighter 2, or do you think it's like that the audience on the Switch that's playing this game is more of like the everyman?
Yes, I think it's the latter. I mean, yes, I am very familiar with Street Fighter 2, but I'm not super tight on this specific version of the game. Probably just vanilla Street Fighter 2 is my jam. That's the one that I understand backwards and forwards. So but I think it is mostly that the other people who are playing on Switch are people that remember Street Fighter 2 and picked it up as like another game to round out their collection. I mean, especially the people who are playing it now. Maybe at launch it was a little bit more competitive. But a fine ego boost, I would say, for me to just like hop in there and do that.
Well, and if somebody was interested in these goals,
Mm.
so-called goals.
Sorry, resolutions. We did a whole episode about it last week. You should go check it out. It's called 2018 Resolutions. One of mine is to get back into fighting games in a real way. What are our other goals, resolutions for the year?
We're not going to tell you.
Oh,
Go
Mark,
listen.
we're so cruel. You want to talk about new releases this week?
Yeah, let's
talk
that.
about new releases this week.
New release-wise, seemingly nothing coming out today, Tuesday, January 9th.
That's right. Who knows?
Who knows?
That could change.
But on Thursday, bunch of games dropping on the Switch eShop. You have The Escapist 2, Super Meat Boy.
Oh man, I'm so excited about Super Meat Boy.
A game that you were lobbying me fairly hard.
Yeah, over the weekend. Yeah. I discovered that there are some new features in this version of Super Meat Boy, including a like 2-player challenge race mode, like a split screen, 2 people together can play either like individual levels against each other in like a racing fashion, or the whole game you can race against another player. And that's could be done by throwing the Switch down, ripping the Joy-Cons off, and each person gets to play. I'm very excited.
That sounds so violent. Throwing the Switch down, ripping the Joy-Cons off.
I'm trying to be consistent with the imagery of Meat Boy.
And then on Friday on the Switch eShop is Asken 2: The World Beneath, and as far as I know, that's pretty much everything that's hitting the Switch this week.
Is there anything on here that you're? I know I lobbied you pretty hard for Super Meat Boy. You mentioned The Escapist 2. That game looks kind of cute and interesting, right?
Yeah,
it's like a co-op heist kind of game.
I feel like I don't know enough about it.
Yes.
Has it come out on other platforms? I should do a little research. But
that's a great question. I thought
or is it
was
a first on Switch thing?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? We don't.
We don't. Somebody presumably does.
All right, and we assume that we're going to be hearing a lot more about a lot of other new releases in the coming days. You know what? Let's actually save that talk for later in the episode, and get out of the new releases right now. It's time for a regular segment on our show. It's time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, wherein a performer or group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So for the duration of one performance, 433, Mark and I will talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. Mark, this is your topic.
We're going to be talking about the Flintstones versus the Jetsons. And first, I know what you're going to ask, and we will get there. But first, I want to know.
Yes.
Did you watch these like Hanna-Barbera cartoons growing up? And if you
yes,
did,
absolutely.
Did you have a preference?
I think I had a preference for the Flintstones because there was more of it. And I think it was just on more. Maybe there isn't even more of it. That may just be my perception of it as a child who was watching cartoons.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it was more plentiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Flintstones, yeah, it was always on.
I mean, and the Flintstones is just a more successful franchise, right? Like it had those at least one big live action movie, I guess two, right? Like Viva Rock Vegas saw a theatrical release. I don't think there's ever been a live action Jetsons movie, right?
Small Mark saw Viva Rock Vegas in theaters
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
I saw the first Flintstones movie in theaters.
Oh yeah, we definitely saw that as well.
And I know there was a Jetsons theatrically released animated movie that I have seen a million times. A couple months ago, we found it on like Amazon or something, and like Sarah put it on, and I was like reciting some of the lines with the characters, and she was like, "Why do you know this movie?" There's no real answer for that.
They both have great theme songs.
Yeah, both like iconic theme songs.
Mhm.
I think. So would you say are you more of a Jetsons guy or a Flintstones guy?
I guess I would say that, yeah, probably the same thing, where I'm definitely more familiar with the Flintstones, but watched a fair amount of the Jetsons as well.
The thing that's weird is that like now both you and I, we're if there are only two genres in the world, and the two genres are science fiction and caveman, we're obviously bigger fans of science fiction stuff, right?
Yeah, but like the Jetsons is a weird sort of, I guess, science fiction if you want. I don't know. It's not a very appealing science fiction world.
Sure, that it's a very like
It's very like Monsanto, House of Plastic.
yeah.
It's all very.
It's got that kind of like retro futurism. It's almost like Black Mirror if it didn't have like a negative outlook on itself. You know what I mean? Like George Jetson's job is he works for like 45 minutes a day or something like that, and all he does is push a button, and then he goes home. But like that's still like his job, and that's still the thing that like bums him out. You know? Yeah, so it's not super appealing. He doesn't fight aliens. He doesn't travel through time or anything. At least as far as I remember. What were the stories like on the Jetsons? They're just normal.
Like Judy, wants to go to a dance, and
Yeah.
her parents don't want her to, but she sneaks out.
So I guess that's the thing, is that the Jetsons was more of a family show.
Yeah.
Right? Because the family is a family, whereas for the majority of the Flintstones, they're just a couple. And then they have a baby, or they're two couples, I guess.
Right. And but Pebbles wasn't in original Flintstones, right?
No.
She was like a later
She was a later edition, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like Bam Bam.
Also, yeah.
Yeah. No, of course, we should get to the topic that the name implies.
You think the inevitable.
A Flintstones versus Jetsons, as in if the two worlds were to fight each other.
Right. Now, the two worlds have come in contact in the Flintstones Meet the Jetsons.
Yes, but not in an antagonistic sort of way.
Right.
Not in an all-out war.
I see. So it's just a battle. Now, is this between just the like four principal characters on each side, or is it like the entirety of their world?
To keep it fair,
right,
we'll do the four like main characters.
I think no matter what, the Jetsons are going to be better armed than the Flintstones.
So
right?
I think they might be better armed, but I think that like the Jetsons, kind of their whole like futuristic thing is that they're kind of boobs.
Yeah.
Like they're like technology exists, but we're bad at using it.
Right. Oh, geez, I think this is the end.
Oh,
of
is this
this is one that ends in talking. And I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know
who would win that battle. We were accompanied today by pianist David Tudor. Mark, let's get into the news. What do you say?
So Level 5, developer of series like Professor Layton and Yokai Watch and a bunch of other ones.
Right. Ni no Kuni.
Yes, yeah. So they haven't released any games on Switch so far, but in an interview with the Japanese site 4Gamer, Level 5 CEO Akihiro Hino said that will be changing this year. So he mentioned some already announced games coming to other platforms such as Inazuma 11 Aries and Ni no Kuni 2. But he also said that the company will be putting their power into Switch in 2018.
Putting their power into Switch?
I think that's the literal translation.
I mean, it's always a weird thing when interviewing these Japanese developers that like language barriers are hard, and some putting their power into Switch may sound crazy to us, but that could just be like a regular turn of phrase for them. What are you thinking here, Mark?
Potentially interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Level 5 is one of those developers that I don't know, they seem to make a lot of stuff that is very successful in Japan, but I
Yes.
think the only game that I have played developed by them is the Professor Layton series.
Yeah, yeah, and we both like played the demo of Yokai Watch
Yeah, which
2.
seemed super cute.
It seems super
It's like
cute, but it's
Pokemon Light.
right. It's obviously for kids though, um, and we are not kids. We are men, and so the game did not speak to us really. But I always thought that Nino Kuni looked interesting. It's like a JRPG that looks, or it's the part of the visuals are done by
Studio Ghibli.
yeah, Studio Ghibli.
Well, yeah, the first game was made in collaboration with them.
Yeah.
I think the second game they are not involved with though. Although I think it keeps the same sort of like aesthetics.
Right.
I don't know.
And you would think that they learned something from that too.
Right. Level 5 is I what was that like was it a PS3 RPG like something of the White Witch that was
That's Nino Kuni.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of I feel like there was
Wrath of the
another
White Witch, yeah.
there was another level 5 RPG that was made for the PS in like the PS3 era that came out and just like didn't really hit. And I feel like that's a lot of level 5 stuff
Sure.
where it's well done, but it's just like that much off
Yeah, sure.
from being like really good.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll see if whatever they bring to the Switch, if it's because this could just be, oh yeah, we're bringing Yokai Watch 4 to the Switch.
Yeah, we're bringing a Professor Layton game.
Yeah, which would be pretty. I mean, that would if it were a Layton game, maybe that would like appear on our radars at all. But like if it's another Yokai Watch, we'll be sitting that one out probably.
Nintendo is releasing the neon green and neon pink Joy-Cons in North America officially.
Yay.
So you were able to get them with the Splatoon 2 bundle, but they've never been released by themselves here. And they finally are going to be. An interesting fact is that in Europe and Japan and the Splatoon 2 bundle, the pink Joy-Con is on the right and green is on the left. These new standalone Joy-Cons that Nintendo of America is releasing are reversed. So it's possible to get a full pink or a full green set if you find someone willing to swap, or you're a billionaire can just buy other regions
right
Joy-Cons.
And they're not selling like the individual of the. You know what? I've never actually gone Joy-Con shopping. I only have the gray pair that came with my Switch. Are you in that same boat? Or
yeah, I am. Yeah.
So like, but they sell individual like just left Joy-Con and just right Joy-Con.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like you don't see that very often though.
Yeah.
I feel like when I go to Best Buy or I'm in a Best Buy and I see the Switch, or the Joy-Con, it's always like the bundles.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just a stock issue.
Yeah.
Because it does make sense that they would sell them individually, just in case like one broke but the other one didn't.
Yeah, or like if you just had like one more kid that needed.
Yeah.
Needed
Oh, yeah. Also true.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they sell. I could be wrong. Like you said, I haven't really looked, but I don't think that they sell these like colored ones
right
separately. I think they always come in bundles.
Yeah.
But no, I used to.
What do you think? Do you think you would ever go for one?
I mean, I used to be super excited about getting new Joy-Con, but they're just so expensive, and I haven't found a need for them yet.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because a new pair is what, $70,
$80.
$80. That's a little bit. That's some cash. And you're like, you could buy a bunch of indie games.
Yeah.
Or a full $60 game and its season pass.
But I think eventually there is going to be a set of Joy-Con that break me.
What do you think that'd be?
Oh man, I don't know if they did like a like Super Famicom.
Oh yeah, or even just like a regular like NES.
Yeah,
so like that. That would
one of those that would totally.
Or if they did a like GameCube controller looking one for
it's
like Smash.
Oh, as in like it had like the buttons of a Joy.
If they laid it out,
I would
like,
definitely.
Yeah, I'd be there and
get something like that. That'd be crazy if they did. I know that like when the Switch was announced, that was one of like the fan mock-ups where it's like they could do all kinds of different controller configurations. It would be legit bonkers. if they did a GameCube one, but it'd be perfect for Smash.
It would be perfect for Smash. It is interesting that we haven't seen any like in its first year, the Switch hasn't shown us any like weird peripherals of any kind. It's just been like the controllers that come with it and the Pro controller. And that's it.
And I mean, that does seem like on message with how Nintendo's been presenting the Switch even from the first time we saw it.
Sure.
Which is like less that this is a fun toy that everybody can play together, and more that this is a sleek gaming machine that everybody can play together.
I just want to be able to pop my Joy-Cons into a tennis racket, play Wii Sports.
I'm sure that's possible.
I guess they do have the Mario Kart wheels that you can pop the Joy-Con into.
Last week, Nintendo of America announced that the Switch has sold 4.8 million units in the US since launch. That makes it the fastest selling Nintendo console ever, outselling the Wii in the same time frame.
Does that sound low to you? I mean, I know we're talking about just in the US. And obviously that the statement is that it makes it the fastest selling. But like just knowing what we know about how many units like the PlayStation 4 is sold, it's up to like 70 million or something at this point.
But that's also over what? 5 years? Yeah, like
5 years versus and
10 months.
I guess that's also worldwide versus just the US. So I see where like the slices get smaller and smaller. It's just surprising to me that that's the number of 4.8 million is what it takes for it to be the fastest selling or the most selling console on its first 10 months out or whatever.
Well, especially when you consider like, how many iPhones Apple ships in a single weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying it seems low.
Yeah, compared to like some of the huge numbers we hear from other areas of like consumer electronics, it is pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
When you compare it to other gaming consoles, you realize how. I mean, again, like there's been one or two gaming consoles in the history of gaming consoles that have shipped over 100 million units.
Yeah.
Again, Apple ships that in like a weekend when new iPhones are released.
Yeah.
So, I think it's it's interesting that the success that the Switch has found.
Yeah.
With a totally different like buzz than the Wii had, which was all about Blue Ocean and getting like as many like grandmas to play as possible.
Right.
That was like the kind of the image people had in their head about the Wii.
Right.
And for the Switch, which is considered, I would say, more just like a traditional gaming console.
You can say hardcore if you want.
I don't want.
I
do not want.
I reject that terminology.
We need a new word. We need new words.
Yeah, because look. We're playing video games. We're not cool for playing video games.
Oh, no.
No one's hardcore.
An interesting thing is that in the press release announcing the milestone, Nintendo also mentioned that, quote, fans can also expect continued support from major publishers such as EA, Activision, Ubisoft, Capcom, Sega, Take-Two, and Bethesda, end quote, meaning like it heading into 2018.
Right.
So we know EA is releasing Faye. Is that how you say it?
Sure.
Pho?
I don't think pho. It's either Faye or Fe.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm going to go with Faye.
Okay.
I'm putting my chips on Faye.
Okay. Chips on Faye.
So we know EA is releasing Faye. Bethesda has Wolfenstein 2 announced. Ubisoft is still threatening Steep at some point.
Yeah, right.
And that Starlink Battle of Atlantis game that was announced at E3. Take-Two could release sports games again. And, but there's all these question marks out there.
Yes.
Like, Bethesda has teased future Switch support, and it seems like Doom and Skyrim have performed well for them.
Right. I think people are expecting GTA 5, Grand Theft Auto 5 to come to the platform at some point too.
Right, from Take-Two. That seems like that's like a rumor that's been out there. It seems like I guess it is a last generation game.
Yeah.
But we saw how LA Noire, I guess it ran okay on Switch.
Yeah, it ran. I mean, it ran pretty good. Better than like the not as good as the like reissues on PS4 and Xbox One, but better than it was on PS3.
It doesn't seem impossible that GTA 5 could come. Ubisoft has said that their working on more Switch games. It would not surprise me at all if eventually we get a Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the big question is Capcom, and some stuff has been announced from Capcom, but I guess Activision, we have no clue what Activision is working on for Switch.
What could that be? So Activision is also Blizzard, right?
Right, but usually
So Overwatch is coming to the Switch. Breaking it here.
I feel like usually they delineate the two, like which part
Yeah.
of the company they're talking about.
Mhm.
But who knows? I have no idea. I have zero clue.
Yeah.
Call of Duty? I mean, Call of Duties have been on Nintendo platforms before. Treyarch, who I think is developing this year's Call of Duty,
Yeah.
has usually been the one to do the Nintendo platform. So
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what of that sort of mainstream third party stuff. Like you said, Ubisoft is on here. Like, will the next Assassin's Creed have a version on Switch, or will they just do during the like switchover between generations? There was a last generation Assassin's Creed that came out basically concurrently with the next generation one. So like, and they they did a Vita version. So like, are we going to see an Assassin's Creed on this thing?
yeah, well, and part of this is that, like we mentioned last week, there are strong rumors that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct this Thursday.
Strong room.
And so it's possible by the time
These rumors are strong.
by the time this episode comes out,
Mm-hmm.
that they'll have announced that.
That's right. We are recording on Sunday, so I sort of expect to hear something on Monday.
Yeah, Monday, or
announcing-
like Monday night, Tuesday.
Announcing a Thursday.
If it
Direct.
turns out that the Thursday rumors are true, but
Rumors are strong.
So probably on Thursday, we'll get a little bit more insight
Mm-hmm.
into third-party support. Maybe
Maybe.
we won't.
Maybe we won't. Maybe it'll just all be Nintendo stuff.
Switch has also outsold the Wii U's lifetime sales in Japan already.
There we go.
Game Informer published a video where they spoke with Mega Man 11 producer Kazuhiro Tsuchiya
Sure.
about his work programming Mega Man 7 back in 1995. Turns out that the entire game was basically created in 3 months.
Now that's weird because 7, that's the Super Nintendo one. And so the first 16-bit, or I guess would that have come out after X?
I'm not sure if it came out if it was after X, but no, I think it was. It was after X, but it didn't have any of like the niceties that X had, like the wall,
Right.
Right,
it still played like
So it was a traditional.
yeah.
It was a 16-bit Mega Man game.
Yeah, that's right. So Mega Man X came out December of 93. So that this would have been like 2 years later that Mega Man 7 came out.
And it's again, I'm not a huge Mega head,
That's right.
but I'm pretty sure Mega Man 7 is not super well regarded.
It's not. I mean, it's not. The kind of jewels of the Mega Man series are 1 through 6, and then 9 and 10. So,
But remarkable that they were able to put anything out in like 3 months.
yeah, pretty crazy.
Tsuchiya also divulged that he hates the sliding floors of ice levels.
Mm-hmm.
He talks about in the video how he always plays like Iceman first
To get it out of the way.
to get it out of the way.
I mean, that's legit. Like, that's one of those things that happens in video games that like you just sort of have to like deal with for a little. It's I found the same thing about going to the moon in Mario Odyssey, where it's like, oh, now my jumping physics are different. Where it's like, I don't like this. I want the game to function the same way.
Except I liked it. I liked the moon. I feel like sliding floors are just like one of those genre platforming tropes
Yeah.
that we just accept as
Yeah.
that's the way things are, when I don't think it's all that fun. Does anybody love the ice levels the most?
I mean, I guess that's what it has to come down to, is like, who's like, all right, I'm gonna be slipping around. Like, who thinks it's? I get where it makes sense,
Yeah, sure.
and like where it can be like, oh, this will add a little bit more challenge. Fine, but it's not. It's never gonna be more fun.
Tsuchiya says that he hates them so much he wishes they could be removed from existence.
Wow, from existence.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're making Mega Man. You have some power in this.
Somebody must. Should we make one of our $1 million bets? Do you think ice levels
Ooh, I
with
love
slippery
this.
floors will be in Mega Man 11?
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes
All
too.
right. Well, no. All right. Well,
We owe each other $1 million.
perfect.
The next Splatfest has been announced for Splatoon 2, and it's a global one.
Global
Have we had
Splatfest.
one of these recently?
We have not had a global Splatfest, I think, at all. I think all of the Splatfests have been region specific at this point.
For Splatoon 2.
Yes.
Yeah. Players from around the world will rep teams either action or comedy. It starts on Friday, January 12th at 8 p.m. Pacific time.
Right. We are a U.S. podcast. We can only express things in terms of what time it's happening here. Action v comedy, Mark. What do you think?
Oh, oof.
It's tough, right?
Yeah, I think my heart belongs with action.
Oh, I think we are then a cast divided as if I jump in at all. And let's be honest, I probably won't. I'll be repping team comedy.
Well,
And I'll see you on the field.
yeah, I'll see you in hell. Target is running a buy one get one free deal for Wii U games. All the big Wii U games are included in this promotion, such as Breath of the Wild, Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart 8, Super Mario 3D World, New Super Mario Bros. U, Tokyo Mirage Sessions. What do we decide this was?
Sharp FE.
Sharp FE, right? Not hashtag FE, and both
or number sign FE.
and both # FE, and both Zelda HD remakes.
Yeah, among a handful of others.
So if you own a Wii U and you have not picked up these games, that seems like, or actually, I guess if you're picking up like a Wii U secondhand or something.
Yeah, I'm very happy with my Wii U library. There are a lot of games in it that I've played a lot of, and I think it's, unless everything just gets ported over to Switch in 2018, if that's what the direct is, I think that people are going to look back on the machine with like, yeah, it had that weird controller, and the UI was clunky, but there were some baller games on it. Like the Dreamcast or something. I think it'll be a well-remembered game or a well-remembered system for that reason. And so if you're looking to lock down some like last pieces of that library before we never talk about the Wii U again, or wait 10 years to do it, this is a good time to pick up those games.
Can we really say that Tokyo Mirage Sessions #Faye is
Sharp FE
is one of like the big Wii U games?
I mean,
and Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze we're leaving off this list.
I was typing and those were the ones that caught my eye.
Moving on, AGDQ is this week. Speedrunning to benefit the Prevent Cancer Foundation. It runs through early Sunday morning. I love this event. I love every game's done quick. And
this is awesome games.
Yes, yeah. AGDQ is awesome games done quick. It includes a segment every year called Awful Games Done Quick.
Ooh.
Where people are speedrunning just really terrible like NES games. It's a lot of fun.
And you'll always see someone like running Sonic 2006 or something, not even as part of like the awful games, just as a game to run.
But you can check out their website gamesdonequick.com to see a full schedule and see when like a game you're interested in seeing speed ran.
Speed ran?
When you're speed ran. Being speed run.
Yes.
And you can also donate there, and they have a lot of cool incentives for donations. I think it's awesome every year. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't done so.
Was there anything on here in particular that you wanted to check out?
No, I like just having it on in the background while I'm like doing other stuff. It's like the Olympics that way.
Sure. Yes.
I feel like no matter, there are always like games that are more exciting to watch than others, but anytime I turn it on, it's I just like having it on.
Yeah, it's like the Olympics. There is a speed run of Breath of the Wild with all the main quests being completed.
Is that the last? Is that the finale?
That's the finale. Yeah. That starts at 8:33 p.m. on Saturday night.
Pacific time.
Pacific time, that's all we know. So all main quests are going to be done. No amiibo under 4 hours.
Oh, sounds cool.
Yeah, sounds intense. But that's what speedrunners do. So that'll be super cool. I will try to tune in for that one, and like you say, just kind of keep it all on in the background.
And that does it.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
All right, then. Sorry about that. I can get us out of the news, Mark. I can get us out of here. And that's just about going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. If you could take a second to rate, review, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, that would be lovely. That helps out our visibility a ton.
Yeah, thank you so much to everybody who has already reviewed. We've had a couple of new reviews the past couple of weeks. We really appreciate it. It helps us out a bunch.
And then if you would like to follow us on Twitter, we're there at NinCart Society. And we're also on Facebook. The page is just Nintendo Cartridge Society. And if you ever want to contribute to this show ask us any kind of questions, just like Jason did, you can write in to Nintendo Cartridge Society
at gmail.com.
Jason wrote in and asked, in your opinion, what's more likely, Super Mario Odyssey DLC or Super Mario Odyssey sequel? Thanks, Jason.
I think Super Mario Odyssey sequel.
You think sequel
is
over,
more likely
over DLC? What makes you just because we haven't heard anything about DLC yet?
Yeah, it seems like what Nintendo has done recently with their games, I think all of them in the Switch era that have, that's right, it's an era now, that have,
it's been 10 months,
that have DLC, is they like announce it beforehand, and there's a season pass for it, and you know what's going to be in the DLC. Also, Odyssey just seems like a complete package. Yeah, they could always do more kingdoms, but it feels like a Galaxy 2 situation to me, where it's like, I'm sure they have a ton of ideas.
Yeah.
And those, especially since we're so early in the generation, could go into an Odyssey 2.
Yeah. I also think that we're going to see more, where Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey are like these huge games. I think as the 3DS library and the development for 3DS games sort of like peters out, that they will find ways to bring the sort of that $40 price point of game to Switch. And I wonder if that will take the form of like, here is a Mario Odyssey like game that is more based on like the 2D sections, or just taking what they already have and like doing like kind of sideways sequels
like
to it.
Captain
Toad. Yeah, Captain Toad in it, or something like that. Like I honestly don't know if we'll see either a straight up sequel or or DLC for Mario Odyssey. We may see something that's a little bit more of a sideways thing, or like a collection of things like what we see in Odyssey.
Yeah, I mean, with Nintendo, it's really hard to know, but I will be very surprised if there's DLC.
Yeah, it seems like we would already know about it. And you know what? We could all be proven wrong on Thursday at this Direct, which may or may not happen.
Right, we might be proven wrong
about that. But see, it's that easy. You can write in with a question, and we'll discuss it. Just like that, you can write in to us at Nintendo Cartridge Society
at gmail.com.
If you like Mark and Mine's opinions about things that aren't just Nintendo, we write about comic books on retconpunch.com. Olivia Duncan made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can check out more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Ellers saying thanks for listening.
What's a Creative Podcast Network?